he sees your eyes running through the night, only takes him back. Going side to side, crowding through the night. Run, you can run, but you'll never hide. The walls are coming, you're running. The walls are coming, you're running. The walls are coming, you're running. The walls are coming.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Extra Time, the final word on the weekend's action. And it's going to be an interesting one because would you believe this is the 500th audio podcast of Always Wolves? Obviously, we do Extra Time each week. We do smaller ones in the week, and it is number 500. If you want to get involved in the chat, involved on the screen, hit the link and you'll be able to get on the channel. We're looking for some new faces to come on board as well. So if you've ever wanted to come on the show, tonight's the night when we're looking for some debutants to come and make their debuts. So we're going to be, it's going to be an interesting one. It's the 500th one, and I wish it was a happier one because it's not, is it? It's just depressing being a Wolves fan the last 3 or 4 years, and it's continuing this year. But we've got a great lineup, I'm happy to say. Returning after a few weeks off, just off the golf course, it is Josh. How you doing, mate?
All good, thanks, yourself.
Fantastic, mate. So you've been on the golf course today, have you?
Yeah, down Evanville this afternoon, having a round with my mates.
Are you any
nice,
good?
Nice course what they got down there, to be fair.
Are you any good, Josh?
All right, I'd probably say above average.
above average. What have you got a handicap?
Yeah, 22. My handicap is
22. You're working on that at the moment.
Yeah, trying to get it down. Trying to get it down.
I'd also like to welcome on today, because it is the 500 show, and it wouldn't be right not to have the producer Emma on herself. So hi, Emma.
Hello.
Brilliant to have you on, giving the female, ladies, girls, women's point of view as Wolves fan as well. And you probably know a lot more in terms of the stats than most of us guys do. And well, I know you do. It's like you tell me all the time, all the stats and facts. Emma's been working really hard on all the post content stuff on the socials, and also some fantastic articles on the alwayswolves.co.uk website. How are you feeling?
Bit miserable.
Same as everyone else.
What else could I say?
Well, fantastic. Well, not fantastic. And finally, joining us to make up the four tonight, it is, of course, for the 500 show. Sutty, how you doing, mate?
Been better, Dave. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you ever so much for joining us. How's your week been?
Yeah. Spoilt by yesterday, Dave. It spoils the week, doesn't it? So.
Well, we're getting used to it, mate. To be honest, we're getting used to it. Before we get stuck in, as always, I do want to say, of course, a massive thank you to Creation Wolf, local company, powering tonight's show, delivering the industry's latest and most advanced digital solutions. They can take your brand, online presence, and digital capabilities to the next level on creationwolf.com. The link is also in the description below. We've already got 450 people watching live 4 minutes into the show. So whether you're watching on Facebook, on X or YouTube, or even over on TikTok, welcome to the show. We will be doing a Q&A at the end. I'm not sure where Sutty's gone. I think Jeff's got to him. Has Jeff taken him off air? No, he's using the backup there. We lost you there for a second, Sutty.
Oh, sorry.
You all right now?
Yes, I'm good now. Sorry.
Fantastic. Okay. So where shall we get started? Josh, I'm going to start with you because you've not been on for a while.
Yeah.
I just want you to give me a general overview of where you are at as a loyal Wolves fan.
It's just not good enough, is it now? We've been put on the chat yesterday, the Discord chat we've got. there's teams most years that circle the drain for years. We've become that team, like Wigan used to do, circle the drain, and eventually that drop. And this weekend for me, I know we're only 5 games in, but I don't see where it can turn. And I know we had the turn of events last year and we had it under Large when Lopetegui come in, but it's repetitive. It's 3 instances now this is going to happen. And sooner or later, it's going to come and bite you on the arse.
Sooner or later, it's going to bite you on the arse. Emma, how are you feeling? What's your
Pretty
take?
much the same, really, I think. I think it's really sad that we're only 5 games in and fans on the whole just can't see any hope and have written us off and feel we're doomed for relegation. And I'm not criticising that because I feel exactly the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Sutty, just in short, where are you at the moment? How are you feeling? What's your take?
Well, I hate to say this, but I've told you all so many times. But well, nearly 4 years, I think now, Dave, that I told you that this was slowly creeping up on us, year after year demise. Absolutely expected by me. You can see it. If you can't see this happening and how it's playing out, then well, I think even the happiest happy clapper, as we call them, and they call us the bedwetters, the ones who are a little bit critical. I don't think they've got a lot to clap about at the moment, Dave, and I just don't see where it gets any better at the moment, mate.
Fair comment. Well, let's get the first of our video callers on today. It's Noah over in the USA. He always he's a good lad. He always talks really, really well. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Hey Dave, Noah here from Chicago, Illinois. So it ends Wolves 1, Leeds 3 at Molyneux. Just genuinely I just can't be asked anymore, man. It's just completely exasperating watching this team, this joke of a team, this play weekend in, weekend out. Just the lineup wrong. But in the end, I've been saying it, or I said it last week, the problem's at the top. The problem is 100% at the top for me. I just, how much longer until we realize there's one common denominator in this situation, and that is just she and FOSUN, right? It's just getting ridiculous. Gifted them 3 goals today. Agbadou, crap. Again. Just absolutely ridiculous. An absolutely ridiculous goal to concede, to give away. I'm a bit more off the cuff today. I'm out and about and whatever. But sometimes, just need a change of scenery and whatever. And I mean, certainly at the moment, Wolves need to find something to cling on to. We need points on the board. We're 7 points. Leeds are 7 points clear of us. 7 points clear of us. Sunderland are 7 points clear of us. Burnley 4, something like that. But it's utterly ridiculous right now. Have you ever heard of the expression SSDD? Well, it's SSDS. Same stuff, different season. You've seen this movie before. Get to January, panic buy. It can't go on like this. Anyways, try to enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys, the best you can. And always Wolves.
Now let's hear from Chris from Norway.
This is Chris from Eidsvoll in Norway. I actually don't know really where to start because there's so many angles you can come up with this after what is the worst performance in a long time. I think maybe today has culminated in what you can describe as death by 1,000 cuts. This is years of mismanagement, years of asset stripping, years of selling quality and gambling on buying the unknown and hoping, just hoping it'll work. And I think finally after this time today, it has become abundantly clear that the gamble has failed and will ultimately fail this season. There's no quality out there. Now, as for the recruiting we have done, what it looks like is we've recruited athletes or big strong lads, maybe a bit of pace, maybe not enough, but there's no technical ability whatsoever. Now let's be perfectly clear about this. That finished 3-1, and let's be perfectly fair and say that 4-5-1 would have been a reasonable scoreline and we couldn't have complained. Now we can say whatever we want, and I just have, regarding the way the club has been destroyed with the asset stripping by FOSUN. But let's get it right. You know, that one's on Vitor today. Totally the wrong starting lineup. Tactics, it's just long ball rubbish now. Long ball rubbish. That's all it was. And the substitutions beg a belief. Now I'm saying the same things every week, aren't I? But Agbadou, another terrible mistake, another terrible game. One, he shouldn't have started the game. And having started the game, he's been really, really at fault for a goal again. Back to the third goal I'm talking about there. Another pass out that's gone wrong. We've seen this before, haven't we? It came to half time and I thought, at least now, he cannot and will not come out for the second half. Not only did he come out for the second half, actually, he was the focal point of all the tactics. The main tactic or strategy, if you could call it that, was for Agbadou to play a long ball. For the whole second half, that's what we were reduced to. Worst thing is, we've just given a 3-year contract to a manager who looks like he's completely run out of everything that he did right last year. Do you see him today? Sat on the bench, making notes, not out there, instructions, encouraging. Take away the iPad, it was Gary downhill all over again. That is as bad as it could possibly be.
So very annoyed, Noah, very annoyed, Chris. Josh, I'm going to you first. Let's talk about yesterday and the game, some of the points. What points would you like to make, mate?
We just looked devoid of any ideas. I mean, first 15 minutes, fair enough. We got the goal, and it was good play from the back, although it was pressure to begin with. I thought the goal was played really well. We moved the ball well in between the lines. Tolu come deep for the ball, fed it to Fer Lopez, another midfielder around the other side. Fer Lopez dinked it over, and it was a good goal by Courage. But then after that, whether it was tactical, if you can call it tactical, whether it was Leeds putting on the pressure, but we just sat back and just weathered the storm way too long, and it straight away, attack after attack after attack with 11 men behind the ball. Leeds got the goal, and defenders were completely in the wrong positions for that one. While Mosquera was in front of Calvert-Lewin. I know there was a big deflection, but even so, if you're in front of him, start pushing underneath him so he can't get his head on that ball. Or even so, Agbadou should have been on the back of him, sandwiching him, because there was no one else behind him. It was just another easy goal. Then there was the free kick. At first, I didn't think it was a free kick, but then I briefly watched the replays. Not that I watch them much after we've lost. Different view from the Steve Bull angle. Not Steve Bull, Billy Wright angle at the show, and it does look like a free kick. But then you weren't stopping that unless you placed the ball further across. and he steps a step to the right as well, so does. But it just looked complete lack of any energy, any drive. As soon as we went 1-0 up, it was just like, right, we've got the goal. Let's just see this out. 15 minutes into the game, you can't do that. And it's just, there was no oomph at all. I thought once they got there first, we just sat back again. We weren't really pushing at all. And usually I can see the movement with the midfield lines. There's none of it. It's just, we look devoid of all ideas.
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest, I think you sum it all up. To me, before the goal, really, we weren't looking that great. We scored it. It was a really good move. The goal. It was a really good move. Tulu did really well. Passed it to Per Lopez. Great pass. And Ladislav, the new lad, finished the job, and it was great. That got us off our street. We thought, okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. And then it was like, let's go home, basically, because we never consolidated the advantage after that. And then Leeds just took control of the game, and you can't, they just seemed to want it more. Emma, and then I'm going to come in with you, Sutty, because I know you've been making scrupulous notes over the last 2 days, probably over the last 24 hours. Emma, on the game yesterday, what's your take?
I can't disagree with anything Josh said. I mean, defensively, we've got to shore up. We're woeful at the back. What I don't understand is why Agbadou is consistently making these mistakes and Pereira's not dropped him to the bench. He didn't hesitate to drop Andre to the bench when he didn't think he was performing. So what's the difference now? Because he has defended him in the press conference. Personally, I'd like to see Agbadou drop to the bench. I'd like to see our £30 million defender playing in defence. He's a leader. I want him in the middle of that defence, organising that back line and making sure it's working. And for me, that first step just could make all the difference. I mean, I know creatively we're devoid of ideas and all that sort of thing. But for me, until we sort out that defence, no matter how many goals we score, if we're going to concede 3 every game, we're not going to score 4. It doesn't matter how good we are.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, you can't give a team 3 goals. At home. At home. I mean, the first goal, it did take a deflection, but you shouldn't be like being beaten with 2 defenders and a keeper. And it's a good header and it's a good finish from I think it's Calvert-Lewin who finishes it, but it's a difficult chance. I mean, if you look at the XG at the end of the first half, our XG was 1. We did score 1 goal. Leeds' XG was something like 0.46 because they were technically difficult chances, but they finished them. The free kick, okay, possibly pushes him. It's soft. It's a great free kick. But, you'd want your keeper to try and save that. But it is a good free kick. And the third goal, Agbadou, he's done this, I think, 3 times in 5 games. 3 times in 5 games. It's like, that's 3 goals we've given up. And that's the killer goal. And then Leeds they just managed the game. They should have had another couple on a break. And we did have opportunities when we were 1-0 up. We had opportunities where we had opportunities to break. And then we just didn't cross the ball, or we didn't make an offensive run, or we didn't try. We just checked back, and it let them get back into position. And it happened time and time again. And like you say, there was a lot of long ball that was played, which is nothing wrong with playing the long ball. People have been moaning about Wolves playing tippy-tappy football at the back, trying to pass it out and playing, why don't we hit it long sometimes? That's fine. Tulu is great in the air. He wins balls. I quite like him. But you've got to mix it up. You can't become too predictable. Now, Sutty, first of all, let's get your take on yesterday.
I just want to say this quickly because so much made me laugh at them comments, Dave.
Yeah.
Patrick Moran must have put a bit of a typing error in. He said we should go to a 5-4-3. Well, Patrick, I think if we played a 5-4-3, we'd have still lost yesterday because we were utter shit. That's fact, but that did make me chuckle. Anyway, evening everyone. And I agree with Josh and Emma and yourself, Dave. We play with wing backs, Dave, and I stood there on the South Bank yesterday, and The amount of crosses, what we just jogged across to and didn't close down and let them put crosses in, is absolutely alarming. The amount of top, you got Calvert-Lewin, who, well, he spends more time injured than anything else, has absolutely tore us a new arse yesterday with 3 big lumps of centre halves. He's absolutely took the piss out of us yesterday, and they've just got the ball out wide, played simple football, looked for width, knowing damn well that we are not going to close them down. And sooner or later, when you got 3 gibbering wrecks of centre halves like we've got, one of them your captain, they're going to buckle. And once they buckle, their arse falls out, Dave. There's no fight in them. There's no leaders on that pitch, I'm telling you now. They might as well put me as centre half, because I tell you now, at 55 years of age, I've got more bottle than any of them. They're bottleless. And that's what you need more than anything when you're in this situation. Because when you go 1 goal up and concede, like we did, 3 in 14 minutes, you've got serious issues. No one's up for the fight. No one's captain material. No one. We've not had a captain since Connor Cody who will bark orders. Neves was captain, I know, but he wasn't no Cody. He was a better player than Cody, but he weren't a captain like Cody. He weren't a general like Cody. We've got no one. We've got a manager now who've just given a 3-year contract to, sat on the bench looking at an iPad, and is the Portuguese version of Gary O'Neill at the moment. It's dreadful. So in-game management is just, what are we doing? I said this to you last week. I came on for 5 minutes. What are we trying to achieve? Because all I see are 11 strangers. There's no team ethic there. We've got 11 individuals, poor individuals, nowhere near what we had last year, and we finished 5th from bottom. So he's got to really start getting a tune out of these, and fast. Do you know the last time Leeds United won a Premier League away game?
I don't know.
4-2 away at Wolves.
Of course it was.
Of course
they
it
scored
was.
10 goals in the last 3 visits.
So they scored 10 goals in the last 3 visits to Molyneux. Let me tell you this now, right? Leeds United are piss poor. But I tell you what they've got. They've got shitloads of bottle. They'll get stuck in and they will survive in this league. They've got something that we haven't got. And I'll tell you why we haven't got it. And it's because we are a stepping stone club for individuals who want to break into the Premier League. They're not Premier League players, but it's a chance for them to showpiece themselves. They will never have an allegiance to this club while that bastard at the top is carrying on like he is, using this club and this badge in the wrong way. He can do all the little interviews he wants with the pre-formed questions. Until he goes, and I've said it for 4 years, we will be in trouble again. And I don't give a shit how many happy clappers come on here and slate me. You can slate me to your heart's content. Do not cry at the end of this season when we're relegated and there's 20,000 at Molyneux next year. You'll get plenty of ticket chances next year, let me tell you. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. You've got leaders. You've got to learn off your leaders. And Craig will tell you this, Tuba Wolf. He's managed hundreds and hundreds of people over the years. And when people are struggling, they look to the man at the top. Can you honestly tell me now you would look to that man at the top for any inspiration? Because if you say you would, you're an absolute idiot.
Fair comment. First of all, obviously, I know people refer to happy clappers and doomsters and what have you. We're all fans. I think everyone's entitled to the view. Some people are more positive than others.
I'm a bedwetter, Dave. Don't worry about that.
You're not. You've got your view and you're passionate. And I think that's what people love. Passion is good. What I don't like to see and what I've heard is people fighting within each other on the South Bank. That's hot. I don't know whether that's right, but that's what I've read yesterday. And it's because people are passionate and people got different views and on things. Everyone should respect each other's opinion. But the fact of the matter is, we're in a really, really, really crap position. We're in real trouble. I probably would be, if I'm a glass half full type of guy. I always try and be positive. I will try and be balanced. But like, and every year I can see, I have people coming on and trolling in the comments after a video. They do it for fun. Oh, we're getting relegated. We're getting relegated. There's one guy that's done it for the last 5 years. I said, 1 year you might be right, and this might be the year. I even said to him, I was like, at the moment, it's hard to really see how you can argue, because in other seasons you've sort of had something that you could think, if we get the right person in charge of this group, we could be all right. The fact of the matter is that we are in deep shit. We're in real trouble. And we're 5 games in, and the next 2 games are Tottenham, who are in the top 4, and Brighton, who can, who are one of our bogey teams. Although to say that, we tend to have a good record against Tottenham. But look, it's really bad. I'm sick and tired of trying to do content and losing. My dad did his head yesterday. Like, he got his pension money. He comes. There's a lot of people out there pay good money, and it's tough. Josh, I don't know. Josh, over to you now. I don't know if you've got any background noise on there, but like, come in on that, and also whilst we're on the game from yesterday, give your performance rating and your man of the match as well whilst we're talking, because we're going to talk much bigger picture after we've gone through the game.
Match rating 3. Man of the match, I wouldn't say man of the match, but I'd say the best player on the pitch was Kric. If I say last name, I've called him about 3 different names so far tonight. Match rating, what was it? Match rating, player of the match, and then highlight of the day, which is going to the pub before the game with my mates and my dad and my mum.
Emma?
Match rating. Is it really mean to give it a 2?
No. No, it's be
I'm
honest.
going to give it a 2. Player, best player out there, I'm going to go with Josh. I think it was Krejci again. He did well playing in the midfield. He did well once he dropped back into defence. Highlight. Do I have to have a highlight? I mean, I think the goal was a highlight at that point. I was like, oh, we scored. So the goal was a highlight. It was well worked, good team goal. So I'll go with that, and I'll go with the lady giving out free pizza on the walk back to the car.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. Sutty, to you?
1.
A 1, yeah.
It was dreadful. It's as bad as I've seen in years. Absolutely dreadful. Krejci's the best player we've got at the moment by a million miles. Do you know, I'd make him captain tomorrow.
Funny enough, Emma was saying that earlier.
I put him in the centre of defence.
She was saying that as well.
With Santi, Bueno and Doc.
Yeah.
I'd drop all them 3.
That too, Bueno and Doc.
Right. Statistically, Santi Bueno is our best centre half at the moment. That's fact. With player ratings, it's fact. So I would play him. Tell me that he's done anything wrong so far this season. In the appearance he's made, he hasn't. So he deserves a start, because these 3 are utter garbage at the moment, and will get absolutely pumped at Spurs if he picks them 3 again. So I'll be starting them 3. Sorry. Well, moment of the day. Well, I was spending the time before the game with the lads from Worcester as usual. Good laugh. The game spoilt the day, really.
Well, it does, doesn't it? I mean, the thing with football, and the match is obviously the big part of it, but like the people you spend it with is what makes the whole day. Sometimes you can celebrate together, you can cry together and stuff like that. And to be honest, I'm glad it was raining a lot yesterday because I think it hit a lot of tears. The Gene Kelly stand was having an absolute field day over in the corner. Poor people. Now look, at the end of the day, you know, we're here, aren't we? Now we need to deal with the elephant in the room, literally, and that is getting your thoughts. We'll start with you on this one first of all, on the 3-year contract that's been given at this point to Vitor Pereira. Now let's be honest. Vitor Pereira came in and done an absolutely amazing job. He was brilliant. He had the record 6 wins in a row. Never done that before. He was having beers in the pub with the fans. You know, we haven't really had that connection with someone since Nuno. But the facts of the matter is that we haven't won a game in the league since April. We didn't win any of the pre-season matches, and I know they're all about performances, but we look for performances, and we could see there was problems in pre-season from looking at the pre-season games. We've lost 5 games at the beginning of the season. The only game that we've won was against a terrible West Ham side, and the only game that we won is when we changed formation to 5-3-2, and for 15 minutes, all of a sudden it seemed to click. It was like a magic formula had been on. We looked great, and you were there, so I'm guessing, and Josh, and the atmosphere came back because we thought, wow, this is good. And then it's just sort of fell away again since then. And we've got another cup match coming on Tuesday against Everton. And for me, Vitor Pereira, the manager, is saying he doesn't know what his best team is. He has been given resources. I know they've sold the players, but he has been given a lot of responsibility in terms of building this team and the final say on transfers. That's what he's been given. He's had his team come in. Domenico Tetti's come in, who's the technical director, which no one ever hears from. He just sits and looks stern. 3-year contract at this point, Sutty. I think everyone at one point would have been saying he's got to have his new contract, but Gary O'Neill got a 4-year contract, and then look what happened with that. It's like Groundhog Day all over again, mate.
It is. I think that we've jumped the gun a bit too much there, Dave. I would have waited myself. He's still got to the end of this season, and he said himself there was no rush. Look, he has had say in recruitment. That's fact. He has had say. But for anybody that doesn't know how recruitment works, you identify your positions that you want to strengthen, and you start with your number one. That is who I want. I want him. But if you can't get him, this is my number 2, and they do that 5 times in the position they want. So they'll give 5 names. So number 1 is the one they want, and number 5 is, okay, if all else fails, he'll have to do. I think we've had a lot of number 5s, Dave, because nobody wants to come here. And I was like a scratch record here. Why don't they want to come to Wolves? The ones that want to come to Wolves are the ones that nobody really wants. Nobody else really wants them. So it's a shop window for them, Dave. And if they have half a decent season, they know their chances are, if somebody comes in with a good offer for them, they're going to be gone. And it works for them. And where does that leave Wolverhampton Wanderers? That leaves Wolverhampton Wanderers in a very perilous position again, because we've then got to go with another 5 players, because the ones that we wanted before are all gone to different clubs, and it's just rinse and repeat. And then the manager gets the sack, and we get another manager in to come and troubleshoot it. We'll spend 50, 60, 70 million in January, which should have been spent in the summer when you needed quality, but now you're fire shooting. So we ain't never going to get anywhere, Dave, until the mindset of these owners change and they actually come clean on what the vision is for this football club, because they don't really give us a vision about what they're going to do. You go there yesterday. Now, I sit in the South Bank, so I can't really see it, but you're in the North Bank. we've got a couple of thousand people getting absolutely drenched every week, but don't worry, you get a free poncho. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We're almost tin pot, Dave, on how it's run. It is shockingly bad. Other clubs, and I'm going to use this club as an example. I'm going to use Bournemouth. They lost their goalkeeper and their back four this summer, and they were made one of the favourites to struggle. There's no struggle there, mate, because as soon as one was sold, their number one target was through the door. Bournemouth have, I don't know if any of you have ever been there. I know you lot have, but it holds about 10,500 people. They've manufactured ways to make Bournemouth seem a very, very good option for them. Bournemouth. We get 30,000 on average. You couldn't get a ticket 5 years ago at Molyneux, but let's say we get 30,000 on average at home now. Why? Don't give me this PSR bullshit. Why aren't we finding ways to do what Bournemouth do? Because we've just flogged 140 million quid's worth in the summer. So why aren't we doing the same? Why aren't we finding ways to get money through the door that we can use on player recruitment and infrastructure? Because our infrastructure is an absolute disgrace. And we're a laughing stock of this league. An absolute laughing stock. And yeah, I am going to go in really hard on them tonight because I'm pissed off with doing this year on year before September's out. And then we all go, whoa, we've survived in 17th place. Are we that club, like Josh has said earlier, are we going to be the Wigan of this league? Because that's going to catch up with us. And look where Wigan are now.
Mate, you're absolutely right, because let's face it, the first few years under Nuno, 7th European Tour, FA Cup semi-final, nearly getting to the final. COVID hit, we were very close to Champions League as well. But and then ever since then, as I said, it's gone 10th, 13th, 14th, 16th. You keep going backwards. If you stay still in this league, you go backwards. And I'd suggest that we've actually not even stayed still. We've gone backwards and then gone backwards. It's what was the phrase that we used? Year on year
Demise.
Year on year demise.
Can I just quickly say this, Dave? If you consistently sell the spine of your team, you become spineless, Dave. And that is exactly what we've become. We're a spineless bunch of individual strangers.
I'm going to come to you, Josh, and M&X. But as a question for all of you, Neil Lewis, thank you for the super chat, mate. If you do a super chat, you will get on the screen. One question for all: is anything good us fans could do to motivate our players to play better? Is being left as supporters now? So if you can think about that and answer that as well as part of your thing. Emma, you've heard what Sutty said. You're a pretty positive person as well. You're a bit of a stato. You do a lot of work. You go home and away as well. It's what shit you've got, Josh. I think it's your background again. That's somewhat.
I'll have a look. 2 seconds. I'll mute myself.
Yeah, Emma, why don't you just come back on what Sutty said? And
the original.
Go from the heart.
The original question was about Pereira's contract, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And what other business would you give a pay rise to a manager that's completely failing at this point in time? It just doesn't make business sense. He's in contract till next summer. No one's coming knocking on the door for Pereira at this point in time.
No,
he just doesn't. He just doesn't have the credibility for people to be poaching him. So to hand him a contract right now just seems absurd. Totally absurd.
And that'll be his staff as well.
Yeah, it's all of them. It's not just Pereira; it's the whole team. So I can't quite believe that we've given him a contract and we've got no points on the board. I do think the whole situation, Pereira needs to take some of the blame. I don't think he's totally blameless in this. I mean, to come on and say he doesn't know his best starting 11. I mean, before he even said that, it was the first thing I said. He's got no idea who his best 11 is. He hasn't got a clue. And I said that as we walked out of the ground. And then he said exactly that in the press conference. But I know he hasn't had a whole team. But he's worked with all those players for enough time now to work out who's good at what. But the other thing is, he's not playing players in the positions that they're comfortable with. John Arias needs to be in that pocket behind the strikers. So yeah, I do put blame on Pereira for some of it, but I also put blame on the hierarchy and the management because there is too much change in this window. You can afford to sell a couple of players, change a couple of players, but we have wholesale changes. We have ripped the nucleus out of the team and wonder why there is no team spirit, because it's gone, and that's why it's gone. You cannot do that. It doesn't matter what sport you're in, whether you're in business and it's work or whatever. You rip a nucleus out of a team, it takes a lot of time to rebuild.
Well said. I mean, there's a lot of people agreeing with what you've got to say, Emma, there.
Absolutely.
On regards to that. Josh, I want you to come in on that point as well. And don't forget, Neil's also asked about what can the supporters do to help the team. So if you can try and answer that as well.
Yeah. It's just like everything, just something wrong at the top. There's something not right, and it's feeding all the way. People say rottenness goes from the bottom up. With football, it's the top down. If the top's not right, it's going to filter all the way through, and it's going to unsettle everybody. It's not right at all at the top, and it hasn't been for a long time. You don't hear much from the board like you used to. I know people have mentioned in the past when you had Laurie Dalrymple. He was out on YouTube most weeks. Interviews were going out. He was saying what's going on, and he's recently done a podcast. I think it must be one of the podcasts he's done with Harlequins, and he was saying how the structure they had when he was there and Nuno came in. Nuno bought in this ethos, and he bought in what he wanted to do with the players. And once that was building, it clicked with the guys above that they needed to do that same sort of thing, get in as the head of the boardroom, but it needs to be at this level here and there. And then year on year, it's like Emma said, the core of everything has just been ripped out, not just the team, the managerial, the board. It just feels like everything's been pulled out of place, and it's not sitting right at all anywhere around the club. I mean, I know we moan about things most week, but the decisions on selling drinks in the ground with the taps, it's horrendous. Apparently, I don't know how true it is. One of the lads when we were talking around playing golf earlier says that they'd ran out of beer on the weekend in the South Bank, ran out of lager. Which I find bizarre because they never sell nowhere near enough what they should be, because they can't serve it quick enough because it's too slow. Just bring back bottles. There's just an improvement on there. Like bring back bottles or start pre-pouring the stuff, because you get in the South Bank half time, you've got to get in 15 minutes. You might as well go down in 30 minutes because you're not getting served until 15 minutes after kick-off for the second half. It's a joke. There's just problems here, there, and everywhere. Like the outside of the stadium, they did the paint work, but because I used to come through the subway, and I used to go the right side of the South Bank, but I walk round now because it's quicker to get in. You look at the top of the Billy Wright, all they've done is paint the bit you can see. On top, still paint ripping away. Don't know how true it is. There was a tweet earlier saying that the academy's at risk of losing Category A. What investment's gone in the academy really the last few years, other than the odd few pitches? Look, when our last academy product's not even at the club. Elastic Academy products now captain in a Europa League team, in another team in the league. And I know there were issues around that, but nothing's sitting right at the moment, and you just can't put your finger on it. But onto the thing, can the fans do anything? I think you can, but I think it's a big ask because, like, you've got, we were on about it yesterday, like, we can get behind them, keep getting behind the boys during the game. But when we've seen enough, it just, if the crowd turn, we will turn because we've all had enough. And it's a pushing point. It's becoming a real pushing point and a struggle. And I'm like thinking, what can the fans do? I know a lot of the fans will say, right, protest. And I can understand that. I really can.
I think what he was saying was to help the team.
Yeah, but as I'm saying, like those sort of things won't help the team. Helping the team, really, we've just got to keep singing. But in England, as you see in mainland Europe, their fans are going constantly. That's not the English way with football. Our fans don't do that and never have done that. They won't sit there for 80 minutes, 2-0 down, banging a drum, because that's not the English way of cheering the team on. It's all, and Sutty said it in the past, it's all done on the pitch. If the performance is on the pitch are poor, you're going to get no reaction from the fans sat in the stand. Whereas, look, back when we were finishing 7th, performance on the pitch was brilliant. Fans' reaction was on par, if not better, than what we were seeing on the pitch.
Can I say, Josh, coming on that, I think the fans, the Wolves fans, have been incredibly patient to put up with this over the last 4 years. And there has been times where they've been singing Vitor Pereira's Barmy Army and all that, which has been going on for 10, 15 minutes in the stands. And the fans have led to try and lift the team. I remember against Brighton in the FA Cup, okay, we got knocked out to Coventry, and they were dead on the feet. You know, Brighton were pushing, we were 1-0 up, and the fans saw it, and we lifted that team over the line. You could see it lift them to keep going, and we got through to that. And then obviously we eventually lost to Coventry. But like, if it's week after week after week of loss after defeat after defeat, the team are giving us anything back. The best, I mean, I did the Strand Larson chant, didn't I, after the West Ham game, because I was so happy that I'd had 10 minutes of like, oh my God, that was great. And the fans responded to that. And it was, I think, Sutty, you mentioned it was a half full ground that night. And the fans responded to it because we had something to grasp onto. But like at the moment, it's just, I was talking to someone yesterday over at Genting, and lovely people. And the guy was sat there and he says, I just don't care anymore, Dave. And the other person was saying, I think it was a lady, she was saying, I'm angry. And I said, there's stages that you go through, like grief. You go through concern to frustration, to vex, to annoyance, to anger, to livid, to apathy. And when you get to apathy and people just go, I can't be bothered putting all my emotion into this and even getting angry, you know it's bad. And there was a guy 5 games in, he was like, you know, can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered. And that's where we're at. On the on the 3-year contract for Vitor Sutty, I don't think you actually answered that one. So can you just give your thoughts on it?
Well, it's too much too soon, Dave, really. We didn't need it. As Emma's just clearly stated, who at the moment is going to come in for a manager that's got 1 win in 14? There's certainly not going to be any Premier League sides. I can only think of West Ham, really, who are probably actively looking for another manager. But there's a perfectly good one that's just been sacked by Nottingham Forest, who will do a fantastic job if they back him down there, because he certainly wouldn't come back here under this regime. But Vitor Pereira didn't need that 3-year deal. I would have been discussing that with him when we're safe. But look, like I just said to Emma there, it's not just Vitor Pereira. It's all the backroom staff. It's everything that comes with it. It costs a fortune. What are they thinking? We did that with Gary O'Neill last year. And I, for one, said, we need to tie him down to a bit bigger contract. I didn't expect a 4-year deal for Gary O'Neill. What were they thinking? I don't think they know how this game works, Dave. I don't think they understand it. And this is why we're getting fundamental mistakes constantly made, because all they look at is pound note signs. They've not got the foresight to think, if we get this correct on the pitch, the pound note signs will get more and more. No, they don't look at it like that now. Let's get a young kid in from Celta Vigo or somewhere like that. Let's pay 15 million euros for him. And next year we might get offered 30 for him. Whoa, we're making 15 million euros really quick. It don't work like that in this game. It's a funny old game, football. And most good owners will tell you they don't make a penny out of it. Now, I know they bankroll us for about 30 million a year, but I keep going on about this. They might bankroll it for 30 million pound a year, but what they save in worldwide advertising through that club logo that gets put out to nearly 1 billion viewers worldwide, because that's how many watch the Premier League each weekend, saves them an absolute fortune. So, and then we go and do silly things like offering 3-year deals. And I'm not blaming Vitor Pereira here. I'm not. He's made mistakes, but he saved us last year, and I do believe he should be given the chance to mould his own team. But the 5 or 6 players we've bought in, I don't think that they are all his number one choices, Dave. I really don't. So I do think he's been dealt a pretty shit hand, even though they spent 113 million quid. But 3 years, that's almost suicidal, Dave, because if we go to 9, 10, 11 games without a win, what are you going to do then? Who's coming as well? When you got to ask yourself this as well. What manager of note is going to come to this club and work under this regime that owns this club at the moment?
Rob Edwards will be sacked by Middlesbrough.
Well, he won't, because they're
Rob
top.
Edwards. What you say, Rob Edwards? He's got Middlesbrough top of the league.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got more about him.
We could be passing ships in the night soon, us and Middlesbrough. So don't think Rob Edwards is just going to jump over here when he's in the position he's in now.
Rob Edwards. I mean, I know his agent. I spoke to his page. I'm thinking. I think it's Carl Akimi. Is his agent?
No, it's not Carl. It's Matt Murray.
Matt Murray. Yes, sorry. No, thinking goalkeeper Matt Murray. And he said that Rob Edwards said it's his dream to manage Wolves. That's his dream, and he'd walk across water to manage Wolves if he has the opportunity, but he knows he's got to earn his stripes before he gets that opportunity. But like I agree with you. On the Nuno thing, mate. On the Nuno thing, I think Nuno would come back, and the reason I will say this is because I know people that know Nuno, that have spoken to Nuno, that have told me stuff that's gone on in the past. Before Lopetegui come, he was coming back then. Him and the Jeff had sorted out their differences, but it was the buyout that was the problem from Saudi at the time, because he'd just gone there, hadn't he? So it just didn't work out to get out the contract and stuff then. And obviously J-Lo come in and got us out of the mess that year. But I don't know whether the relationship is soured since. But to me, he's the only man that could come in and save this club. Because it all went downhill when he left, and if Forest have made the same mistake, and look what's going to happen to them. I've said to Wolfie off Not Forest Fan TV, I said, look what'll happen to Forest now Nuno's gone, because he is a man that inspires people, he inspires players, and he brings people along with him. And the problem was that he got sacked because he wanted more money, and there were fans that wanted him gone at the time that were, you got to bear this. There's a guy that COVID was hardly able to see his family as well, that was stuck in Wolverhampton, couldn't go back to Portugal to see his wife and family and stuff like that. And he went through a tough time, but he still did a damn sight better than what we've done now. And then he wanted the money to take us forward, and he was never backed. And then they gave the money to Large. So like Nuno, he said, this is not goodbye, this is farewell. Those were his words that he said. I think there is an outside chance that he would come back. He's the only person for me. I'm not saying it would. That will happen, but I think there's an outside because he's got an affinity to Wolverhampton Wanderers and the fans. He's the only one.
He hasn't to Jeff though.
Yeah, I was going to say I think Nuno's progressed past us.
Probably.
I think he's moved on, and he would be looking for a club with a lot more ambition than that we've got. He's not going to want to come and be fighting relegation every year, and until that changes fundamentally and the attitude changes, that rules out a whole range of managers. And it's partly why they never sacked O'Neill, isn't it? Because he was getting someone in. It's like no one wanted to come, you remember? And I think if Vita goes, I think we'd be in the same position as again. No one will want to come.
We were all very lucky to witness the Nuno era. It was incredible, and it gave us hope. The trouble is,
we're latching on to
he
that.
ain't never coming back now. I can tell you that categorically. That man will not come back unless we get a Saudi owner that comes back here. They'll be the first bloke through the door. I'll tell you that now. But under this man and this ownership, not a chance. And I wouldn't blame him either. Why would he taint his legacy at this football club? He's godlike here. Godlike. Why would he come back here with the risk of relegation season on season? We're sick of it. He wouldn't put up with it. Not a chance.
I know, but that suggests that it doesn't matter what happens, that we're doomed. We're absolutely doomed. Now, you know, that there is no hope. It doesn't matter what we do now. You're basically saying we're doomed. We're absolutely doomed. We're going down. That, you know, there will be a limited stock of people that would come in right at this point, because Wolves are not an attractive proposition, because we've gone backwards year on year on year. We need to turn the tide and go forward. We need to start going forward. Now, for me, the problem hasn't been the last 6 months, because it hasn't been the last 6 months because they've given Vitor £160 million worth of players. He had brought in 3 in January. They brought in another 7 or 8 now. They're all his players. The problem is the last 4-3-2 years, we have dismantled Nuno's side systematically, transfer window after transfer window after transfer window to this point, and now it's almost too late. They've had to try and make wholesale changes to try and do this reset. They've thrown everything into the Vitor Pereira model. Obviously, Matt Hobbs has gone. We had Mendes involved. Vitor Pereira has been given total carte blanche to make the signings. He's brought in his own technical director. They've brought in his own staff. They've given him all of this support. Have your staff, have your technical director. Final decision, who do you want? What are your list numbers? Final decision on every single transfer. That's Vitor that's had all of that. It's not the last 6 months because they've spent the money, but we have lost key players. We've decimated the entire team. And if you decimate an entire team like what's happened, it doesn't matter. You just can't build a team spirit. You're right, there is absolutely no leaders. Totti Gomez, you know, the weight of being the captaincy is severely affecting him. You've got Joe Gomez that it's on the pitch. He gives everything every game, trying to drag something out of us. He must be thinking, what the hell am I doing here? Because he could go into any other team and be an absolute superstar. Andre, what the hell is going on with Andre? Why is Vitor Pereira not starting Andre? Why is Vitor Pereira starting your £30 million defender that we've just bought in midfield when we've got a problem with defence? We've bought Ladislav Krejci. He's a £30 million defender, and you drop Andre and you put the defender in midfield. Now, I know he can play midfield. What's gone on with Andre? Why is Andre not starting? When he comes on, we look a lot better team. Why are people being played out of position? This is the worry for me. I really like Vitor Pereira. I bought into him. You know, We've all bought into him. We like him. But the press conferences have turned into Gary O'Neill's press conferences from like against Newcastle. Let's put all the excuses in before we start. You know, I've not had the team against pre-Leeds. He was more himself, but we haven't seen this jovial, bubbly Vitor Pereira for months. It's gone. It's like, and then you've been given a 3-year contract like when he doesn't need to be. Why has he been given a 3-year contract? But it's like, why haven't they not learnt the lessons before? Why is Jeff Shee doing a PR exercise, going and having private meetings with the board of the trust, the private meeting with the board of the trust that he's had a meeting of which there are
London Wolves, hasn't he?
Which there are apparently no minutes. He went and had a meeting with the fans advisory board. He went down to London and had a meeting with London Wolves. It's a good PR exercise saying the things. He's done a video with questions that a lot of people were asking. And I've defended that because I've said, you know, he gets damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. He's got unanswered questions. And he really believes what he's saying. Chris was at the, people have seen that. But like, come on this damn show, Jeff. Come on the show or one of our shows and answer questions live to fans that can ask you direct questions that are not behind closed doors. Come on one of these shows and do it live so people can ask you honest questions, not behind closed doors, not with premeditated videos. Come and do a fan channel and get on with we've got 1,200 people watching live. Come and do that and actually answer the questions, or set up a proper fans forum like what used to happen and invite fans to Molineux, 200 or 300 fans, and stand in front of them and do that. They won't because they're protected. It won't do it. But like, if you really want to face the music and talk to the fans and not have them singing songs at you every game, you need to engage directly with the fans and come on and do that. Sorry, but like, it frustrates me when he's not facing up to these things, and like us fan channels don't get any access to speak to these people and actually get them to come and talk to you guys live and you can ask your questions. Emma,
what's the question?
Oh, Jeff, what's your thoughts on Jeff at this point?
Go on, Emma.
I don't.
Give
You don't really want to know,
barrels,
do you?
girl.
I think Jeff is a fundamental problem and FOSUN are a fundamental problem. In respect that Jeff acts out FOSUN's will, whatever their instructions are, he's the messenger of doom. But likewise, he feeds back everything from the club and gives them the information that they know to make their decisions. I don't think it's as simple as FOSUN out. It's got to be FOSUN out and the right people in. I think it can't be sell at any cost just to have someone new, because at least FOSUN do have the money and they do want to protect our Premier League status. They will do enough to keep us in the Premier League. Whether that's going to work this year, whether it's going to fail, but their objective will be, they won't want to go down to the Championship. They'll lose, what, 300 odd million? Is it million?
What's that?
300 quid at this rate.
On the club value.
Oh yeah, it'll drop like a bomb. It'll go from the value of about 450 million to around about 150 million.
Those that think FOSUN will go if we get relegated, I'm afraid not. I think it's wrong. FOSUN will only sell when we're at the top end, when they're going to get their money back, when they're going to sell at a reasonable price. If we drop to the Championship, they'll lose too much money and they'll be pushing to get us back up again. Plus, the other thing is, who's going to want to buy us?
Well, that's the question. And I absolutely agree. Look, one thing we need to all remember, okay, where we were before FOSUN, we were absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere, struggling to even stay in the Championship. They have come and taken us to levels that we could only dream of. If somebody had said 12 years ago to a Wolves fan that we would have had 7 or 8 successive years in the Premier League, being back in Europe, got to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, being 2 minutes away from an FA Cup final, 2 7th place finishes in the Premier League, within striking distance of Champions League, we wouldn't believe it. But the fact of the matter is, they've taken their eye off the ball, they have dropped the baton, and year on year decline. And we're in this position now because they didn't kick on when they had the opportunity. When Nuno said, "Back me now and I'll take you to the Champions League," they didn't do it.
Lard was closer in that January. We were 2 points. We beat Man United on that last game of January. He said, "I still need players. We've got 2 days for the window." Didn't do it.
Absolutely. And the thing that frustrates me as well, and like I've been accused of like, oh, I'm in FOSUN's pocket, I'm being paid by Jeff. I wish they would. Like, we get absolutely no access at all. We can't go to a press conference. None of the fan channels can go to a press conference because we're not allowed, because we're not accredited journalists. We're not allowed. We can't get interviews with Vitor Pereira or players. We can't get interviews with the chairman or anything like that. So I wish it was the case, because I think the fans, get me, Dave as a party, someone from Fancast, walk back, let's get us, like they did with the journos, sit us all down and we can do interviews and what have you. It'd be great to do that, but we don't get that opportunity. The thing of the matter is that you've got to respect the fact that they've taken us to this point, but they've also got us down to this point.
Yeah.
And I agree, like they've either got to step up to the plate, and they will argue, and Jeff will argue, and what Jeff has been arguing, and this is what Jeff has been saying, we've backed Vitor Pereira, we've given him everything he wants, we've given him his team, we've brought in his technical director, we've spent £160 million on players that Vitor Pereira was, and I feel a little bit like Jeff has kind of catch the blame a little bit because he can see it coming towards him. But like the fact of the matter is, this is what I'm saying, this last 6 months, they have spent the money. They have given him the players. Agbadou, what has happened to him? He was like almost up for player of the year for 6 months. He was unbelievable. He was like a rock at the back. Manetzi was causing all sorts of chaos and people having a pop at him. Bellegarde was transformed under Vitor Pereira from someone that, and he's kind of gone back to playing like he was under Gary O'Neill. So Vitor Pereira has got to take some of the blame, as much as we love him and we've really got to him, and he's had a lot of credit at the band. He has had 6 months since April to build a squad that he wants, with players that he'd already got in. He set out the agenda of what they wanted. He brought in the technical director. They've sold Cunha because he wanted to go. Ryan Aït-Nouri, we probably could have held on to him if they'd have really stuck the foot down. And I know there's people on this channel that have come on and said, I'd drive him to wherever. But you can see the difference without him in the team. Sarabia wanted to go after whatever years. People had to go with him, but look at the difference with him going. Semedo.
Did Leeds score 3 goals in his last game?
Something like that. Semedo's gone. We've lost so much quality and goals out this team, and everyone could see that we're going to have a problem. Jeff seems to think, oh no, it's going to be fine. Don't worry, we're all fine. Vitor Pereira, I hope I really hope for him and for all of us that he is taking this week and he gets the formula right. He needs to start against Everton. To me, he needs to play the strongest team because he's just been given a 3-year contract. He's not going to get sacked in the next week or two.
Well,
People are already asking him, asking Vitor Pereira, how do you feel about your position? This is 2 days after he's been given a 3-year contract. It's like, I'm just like, I can't believe we're here again a year on, and it's like freaking Groundhog Day. When will they ever learn? And this is why I agree with a lot of the people that go on about FOSUN out. I'm not saying FOSUN out and then let's just hope for the best who we get. Because that's not the answer. We could get someone far worse than FOSUN if it's not the right people. We need someone that's going to take that baton and then is going to have a vision to take us to the next level. And that means on the pitch, that means the women's team, that means the academy, that means the training ground, that means investment in Molyneux to make the match-going experience for the fans much better, like the June Kelly stand getting absolutely soaked, like the people in the Steve Bull stand that can't even get to the toilet. It's a joke. We're a Premier League club and we're not acting like it. We're acting like a Championship club. And Leeds looked a Premier League team. We made them look like bloody prime Barcelona for 20 minutes. But we look like a Championship club, and we will be a Championship club unless there is a big change at the moment. And Vitor Pereira's got to pull this rabbit out the hat. He's got to get it and get my dad in the changing room, and he can tell him, for God's sake, it didn't work for Bilston when he went into Bilston. They lost the game.
Yeah, for God's sake, no. They won't understand the word he's saying.
He had a go. So, like, if they're going to sell to someone that's going to take us to the next level, that's the risk. Sutty, I want to come back to you and all that. I'm sorry, that's my little rant. I am so frustrated and fed up of doing these shows week after week and not having any joy at all. It's getting me down. It's depressing people. Fans are turning on each other. And this is what happens when think we're in this bad place. We all love the club, and fans are arguing with each other, and that's what it's been brought to. It's horrible.
Who's caused that, Dave? not me, not you.
No.
That little shit up the top. That's the fact of it all. He's caused a division. Look, we all know he's a little dictator. He doesn't want Laurie Dalrymples and people like this at the club. They're too popular. You don't want anybody undermining you, David. When you're a dictator, you've got to be top dog. Top brass at FOSUN think that Jeff Shee's absolutely marvellous. They love him because he's turned a £45 million asset into £450 million. Not one shit given how he's done it. He's done it. That's fact. If I was a businessman, I'd probably be thinking, well done, Jeff, that you've done well for me there. But I'm not the businessman in this football club. I'm a supporter since 1977-78 season that's probably had, in all of those 48 years, I could probably say I've had 6 decent seasons from boy to man. The rest of it's been pretty shit. So nobody can question our loyalty to this. I feel sorry for the likes of the lad, is it Josh in America? What on earth did you start following this shit show for? When you had the choice of everything in the Premier League, you could have chosen anyone, and you've decided to jump on board with us. It just, honestly, it beggars belief that we've been so accepting of this drivel. I don't believe that people are so accepting. Sooner or later, there's going to be one almighty uproar.
Mate, it's coming. It's coming. The best chance of the weekend was you've sold the team, now sell the club. And it's like, that's the sentiment. That's the message that's coming out. You've sold the team, now sell the club.
I know there's people in these comments, Dave. I know for a fact, I know who they are, that back in the day, in the mid-80s, were ferocious at keeping this club on its feet to save this football club. I know for a fact there are. I don't see the fight. It looks like it's been kicked out of us, and he's just dug his heels in, Dave. He's just dug his heels in, and he's not going to go away. He's like a dirty, nasty smell around a sewerage that doesn't go away, and it gets worse. The smell and the stench gets worse every summer because it's hot. There's heat. And he doesn't give a shit about us, Dave. He don't care about me. He don't care about you, Dave. He'd actually love it, Dave, if you stopped doing these podcasts, because he'd look at that as a victory. You must keep holding him to account. You've got a duty to hold him to account for all these supporters that follow your channel and love your channel. When he does good, applaud him. He ain't done no good for the last 4 years. Give it in big time,
mate. And this is exactly the reason why we have this show. So people like you or anyone, Josh, anyone can come on and say what they want. You know, we're not, you know, I don't, you know, I have people that put loads of stuff in the comments. I try and answer to them. The only thing I don't like, the only thing we will not accept is if people are nasty to each other, or they swear or they disrespect.
Sorry about the swearing, by the way.
Fine, we're after the watershed. I mean,
this one's warranted.
You know,
sorry,
it's
Emma.
It's a thing. But like, I'm generally about people if people are toxic and nasty, that we don't go in for that. But like, if someone's got a passionate opinion and they can argue it, we want them on the show because we want to portray the views of everyone. And Sutty, we met you. You know, we've become really good mates. We often disagree on a lot of things, but we respect each other's opinion. And I will always have you come on the show, and anyone that wants to come on the show and call out. And, you know, I'll try and be balanced and I'll play devil's advocate and argue it. And it's good when you have the different arguments and that. But like, no one can really argue it at the moment. We're in the proverbial shit. We are looking like we're going down, and I've never thought that. We look dead in the water almost. 5 games in. We have a caller, Connor, who's been waiting. Where is he? Connor? He was here. Young Connor was going to come on. He's been waiting to come on for ages. So Connor, where is he? Okay, we've got Dan that's going to come on and say something from the Wolfpack. Dan, hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel.
How's it going, guys? Hope you're all well after an absolute. Yeah, I hope you're all well in that. Yeah.
There,
go on, say again.
Nice green background.
Oh yes, I normally use a green screen, don't I? So I thought I'd just leave it up, sod it. Yeah, it's nice to hear everyone on the same page. To be honest, Dave, I feel like it's always just a few people here and there who are sort of, you know, casting the light on the right people. And I think hearing from you, Dave, you know, that you are one of the most positive people on the YouTube space when it comes to Wolves. And hearing from you and how angry you are, you know, that just screams that something needs to change, really. Because
I got my dad yesterday saying I'll spend all my pension on this.
I know, I saw it.
You know, everything. And it's like, you know, when I see my dad like that, you know, I love going to the football with my dad. I've been going since I was a little boy. And, you know, he's 89. He's coming up to 90 next year. He's gone through prostate. Yeah. He still turns up. He comes and it's great to get him out. And but like, you know, he's a Wolves fan through and through, and he's sick of it. And it's like when dad's starting to think about not coming, it gets to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you can't blame anybody. Like we're all completely correct. Do you know what I mean? Some of the decisions that are happening at the club, whether that be, you know, substitutions through Vitor, the Vitor contract in general, the people that we're bringing in, the kids that we're bringing in, they're not ready. None of them look fit. None of the players that we've bought look fit at the moment. The only 2 players is Joe Gomez and Andre that really would get into a Nuno starting 11 now. Every other player would be a fringe player that would have time to sort of warm up. Do you know what I mean? To get into this squad. They've all just forced into it. We've essentially got a load of Fabio Silvas, pretty much. Because that was the problem with Fabio Silva, is he was never able to actually warm into the game because of the Raul injury. And that ruined him as a player. And we never got to see the best of him. And I genuinely think that's what we're going to see in the other players now. Because they've got no time. They've got to be that man. They've got to be in the starting 11. And it's not fair on any of them. I felt sorry for him, to be honest. I absolutely felt sorry for him. Because they've literally been sold short. They've seen all of their mates leave. They've seen all like them leave to bigger clubs and everything, and they're just probably just thinking, "I'm next." There's no ambition. You know what I mean? We've basically got a giant conveyor belt where it's just continuously going along, and the players going on. And I said to on my channel, I said, I like the look of Krejci, but what's the point in getting excited about players, Dave? Because they're just going to be gone. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely. I mean, you are right. But we had Ait-Nouri for 5 years, and we had Neves for 5. Some of them do stay for a while, but like they do seem more and more that if a big offer comes in, they tend to sell, and you can't build a team, keep selling. You build a team around your best players, not sell your best players.
Mm-hmm.
And Southampton used to have a great youth academy, and they used to promote from within, but eventually it catches you out. I remember Coventry getting a few years ago. We were in the Premier League a long time, and they were kept skating around the drain, and they've been gone for years. You know, if you don't invest and build around your best players and show progress, what can we show what can we show any player that wants to come us? Okay, let's look at Wolves over the last 4 years. Okay, 7th. Oh, Lord, that looks good. 10th, not bad potential. 13th, 14th, 16th, backwards. Oh, they've just sold. Oh, you want us to come to you? Okay, you finished 16th last year, and you just sold your two of your best players. Your captain's left. Sarabia has gone to Saudi for a big payoff. So that's 4 of your first team that have gone, and you only finished 16th. Hold on. Matheus Cunha and Ryan Ait-Nouri contributed between them, I think, 2/3 of your goals and assists last year. You've just lost them. You might be selling Jurgen Strand-Larsen as well, who contributed the other 11%. It's like it's like what Sutty said, what Emma says. I'm going to come back to Emma, and then I'm going to come to Josh. We've got no proposition. They keep talking about this project. Can someone come out from the club and tell me what the project is? Is it the project to go in the Championship? Is that what the project is?
Project eBay or Project Facebook Marketplace?
It's tourism, isn't it? It's all just tourism at the moment.
Josh, well, they're not going to have that at the moment. Well, I mean, Wolverhampton on a October day is not very good tourism.
I know, but when you've got Bellegarde getting Player of the Month just because Haiti fans have all voted for him, and that's why he played, isn't it? It's so obvious. Why else would Bellegarde play? It's probably mainly because he's trying to think, well, all the Haiti fans are all buzzing at the moment, so we've got to like, and it was the same for Hwang Hee-chan.
Dan, if that's the situation at a club where the manager is having to play players because it might please some fans in Haiti or South Korea, I don't think Vitor Pereira is that person.
He might not have much choice though, I do.
We've seen it before though, haven't we? With Chaney, he kept getting put in the squad when he didn't deserve to be in there because he was South Korean, because he was selling more shirts.
No, he was buying Gary O'Neill donuts and stuff like that. I don't know. But look, Nuno wouldn't have done that. Vitor Pereira, I don't think he's that type of person. One of the things that he said in the press conference is that players have got to earn their place on the pitch. And I think that's a backhanded slap at Andre for a couple of times. So I'm not sure whether that's the case in terms of Bellegarde. Bellegarde did really good for Pereira since January when he was playing him in the right position. Why is John Arias playing out on the wide? Why is he not playing in the pocket? Why is he not playing the £30 million defender in midfield and not playing John Arias? Why were we left short in midfield and we've got like 6? We had problems with the defence the year before. We've compensated by getting 6 defenders. We've got 4 midfielders, but we've got a defender that can play in midfield. So we'll play him in midfield instead of Andre, because he's proved there's something gone on there with Andre and Vitor Pereira, and that is hurting the team. That needs to be sorted out. Emma.
I think I made this point last time I was on. And a business the size, Wolves is a massive global business. And if you are a business of that size, you would have a 1-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. You just would. But there seems to be no sort of long-term plan. And I do think that the club probably are, well, I wouldn't say that we're up for sale, but I do think that if the opportunity came along, FOSUN would sell, and I think they probably are looking for an exit, but it's not an exit at all costs. But my real big concern is that because they want out, they're not planning ahead.
And that's the problem, and everyone can see. Dan, have you got anything more you want to add whilst you're on?
No, mate, to be fair, I just want us to sort of keep this up now. Like Sutty said, like we've got to sort of make a noise, really, because they don't like it. We've seen it before. They've gone back on a few things in the past. So hopefully I just hope we can all just get on the same page now. And because the main problem, and we all know what it is our ownership. And that's where it's all stemmed from, isn't it? So
it comes from the top down over. I don't think it's necessarily the last 6 months. Personally, I think it's the last 3 or 4 years of institutionally dismantling the side, and there is no forward plan. There is no ambition. You look across not just the first team. You look across the infrastructure and everything else behind the scenes, the academy, the women's team, everything.
There's no investment.
Unless it's in esports, which is bizarre. We're a Premier League football club, and like they have literally took a ginormous, massive, big dice, and Jeff's rolled it down on, and he's put everything on 0 on the green or black or black and red. He's put everything on one colour. And then he's spinning that roulette wheel that's going down. I just put it down like, when we had Nuno, we got off in a jet plane and we went up soaring on brilliant tours, blue skies, the dark clouds have come over, and we've now jumped out of the plane and we thought we had a parachute and all we've got is a hanky. And we're like, oh, this might do the job. Where's my parachute? Because we're free. We are literally free falling. We are not sleepwalking into the championship. We are running head first, sprinting to the championship at this point of time. And it's frightening. Now, I want to be coming on here in a month's time. I'm sure you do, Dan, on your channel. We want to be coming on in a month's time and going, do you know what? Fair play. It's all turned around. I really hope it does, because it's only going to get worse. And the problem is, it's not just going to get worse talking on these things. It's going to get worse at Molineux. I've seen Molineux get toxic. Bad. You started to see it at the weekend. There was one guy, I can't remember his name, the fans turned on him for one game. He'd gone the next game. Who was it that they were singing at?
Scott Sellers.
Sellers. Yeah. And Jeff's unfortunately I'm not saying Jeff is a nasty person or he's got a family, he's got a wife, he does his job, and he's doing his little PR things. As I say, he's going to meet with small groups of he's met with the trust board, London Wolves, he met with some of them, he's met with the fans advisory board. Come on the fan channels, talk to us properly live, do that. If you've got the I don't want to say the naughty word, kahunas.
Guts.
Yeah.
Got the guts.
If you've got the gut, if you want to really talk to the fans, come on the fan channels and have a proper conversation and talk live, and just say no questions off the thing. We'll make sure everyone's respectful, and I'm sure everyone would be, and come and talk live. Do that. If that's what you want, if you want to reach people, there's some good fan channels out there, go on them, come and talk, do the rounds on that, and then don't duck any questions.
The only thing, Dave, is that the PR machine would start rolling before we'd even get them on there, something like this, and you'd have to sort of show exactly what you're going to talk about prior to it. Do you know what I mean? And then
I absolutely, I know exactly how it is. Max does a fantastic job at Wolves. He's a really great guy. And they've got really good people at Wolves. The people that work in the media team, they do great content. They're really good people. They do the best for the club. They've got great people across the whole of the club that work really, really hard. But like the directives come down from the top and stuff, and they do protect Jeff to a point, and that's their job. But Jeff is his own man, and if he's his own man, come on, get in touch, come on the channel, on the channel and talk. And I'll keep saying it, come on the channel and come and explain the plan, come and explain the vision, come and explain. It's all right going down to what is a fantastic, great supporters group, London Wolves, brilliant group of people. And I think he called on it. They went down to London. I think there's about 10 that were able to make it. The tube strike was on at the time. That's great, sitting down with them, and they gave positive feedback about how Jeff was, about he answered the questions. That's great. That's 10 people, and they'll feed it back to them. He's gone and talked to the trust board, and I think he came across really well with them. I think Sutty, you've heard the feedback as well from Chris and the likes and stuff like that. But that's just a small group of people. You need to do bigger things. Come on the fan shows and talk to the fans direct, or have a proper open forum at Molineux where people can come and it can be fully filmed, open forum. No question is off the thing. We used to do that under Laurie, didn't we? Laurie Dalrymple.
Yeah.
Even Jez Moxie used to do it. We don't do it anymore because he's sheltered behind the screen. People are human beings. They will get angry and they will get more frustrated when they don't get answers and they can't answer, or it looks premeditated and prefabricated. The fact of the matter is, going and doing the rounds about all of these little groups, which is great, ain't going to get the South Bank off your back. That ain't going to happen. You need to fight it up. Sutty, thanks for coming on, Dan, anyway.
No worries.
See you, Dad. Jeff Shee coming on here. You got more chance of winning the Euro Millions. 2 weeks on the trot, Dave. He ain't coming on here. Not a chance. He'll open himself up like a can of mouldy old sardine.
I think if he did, he'd get a lot more respect for coming on and facing up and answering open questions. And as long as people are respectful, and we will make sure that they are, and there's nothing off the table, he can come on. And he can come on, he can come on. But you're right, you probably won't. But I'd like to, I don't hate Jeff Shee like some people will hate him. I just want him to step up. I want him to show a vision. We're going to do this with the stadium. We're going to do this with the academy. We're going to do this for the women. We're going to do this for the team. This is the vision of what we've got.
Can I just say, he's not going to do that because they're not going to do anything with any of those things. They don't want to put in any more money than they have to. So they're not going to invest in the stadium. They're not going to invest in the women's team. They're not going to invest in the academy. And they're going to do what they need to keep the team in the Premier League so that we keep our value as a club, so that when they sell and when someone comes along, they can get their money back.
This club isn't openly for sale. They're not going to put a big for sale sign across the front of the Billy Wright entrance, because you're then saying we're desperate, we need money. Yeah. What they will do is say, no, we're not for sale, in the hope that somebody comes in and says, we're interested in buying Wolverhampton Wanderers. Do you see how I keep saying Wolverhampton Wanderers as well, Dave? Because they don't like it. They hate it. They hate that. They just like the Wolves logo. They don't like Wolverhampton Wanderers. They don't like Wolverhampton being mentioned. We are Wolverhampton Wanderers, and we always have been. We always will be. But he won't put an actual for sale sign up. Neither will the top people, because that will lower the value. Because people say, "Oh, they want some money." Thomas Cook must be failing again, or one of their companies. They need a bit of dosh. So we'll offer them 200 million. They ain't going to do that. What they want to do is make people think, no, we love this. We don't want to get rid of this, in the hope that somebody comes in and says, well, we really want it. How much do you want? 450 million. Okay, we give 450 million because we want it. We want to do things with it. And that's what they're holding out for. And I bet you they hold out, Dave, until just after the World Cup, when football's at its height, with rich billionaire owners from America that start chucking out a little bit of bait, saying, how much do you want for it? How much do you want for it? Now, come January, if we're in the shit, they're not going to sack Vitor Pereira. Forget that. It ain't going to happen. If we're in the shit, they'll chuck another 100 million at it and say, go for it. You will get your first name on your list this time. We'll go for it. They ain't going to risk this club going down into the Championship. They will chuck money at it. But it's just rinse and repeat.
Sutty, it is rinse and repeat. And I'll come back to what Emma said as well. You're absolutely right. But the problem is, I don't think it's going to be enough this time. I don't think if we could be that, the way we're going, we're going to be that far behind. It'll be more what it'll be like. We've got, even if we chucked all this money, how are we going to get these players? We're not going to stay in the league. We've got to be in contention to be able to throw the money at it. So then look, we will be, it's the 150th anniversary of Wolverhampton Wanderers next season, and
in the Championship.
Championship. And on Emma's point, this is the point that this is coming back to the point. This is why I'm saying the fans want. All the fans want, we've been saying, Sutty said it, Josh has said it, Dan has said it, you've said it. All the fans want is a vision. What are you going to do? What is the plan? What is the project that people keep talking about? What is the plan for the stadium? But we're hearing nothing. And this is where I'm at, is why if FOSUN, and like I've stuck up for them a lot, if FOSUN are not prepared to step up and give us a vision, we're going to do this for the stadium, we're going to do this for the training, we're going to do this for the academy, we're going to do this with this proper plan and roadmap. If they're not prepared to do that, for God's sake, sell up and give it to someone who wants to do it. That's where I'm at. If they aren't going to step up to the point and pass the baton on, then please, thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you so much, Chairman Guo. Thank you, FOSUN Group, for dragging us out the Championship and getting us into the Premier League and keeping us here. But if all you're content to know is to try and scrape by in the seat, we deserve, as fans, we deserve better than that. We deserve better than that. So please sell it on to someone.
Dave, the reality of this now is we're in our 10th season with them, something like that.
Yeah.
We have gone absolute full circle, because this current squad, forget the Championship winning side, this is nowhere near the side that won the Championship. I'll tell you that now. They would tear this lot a new arse. Without doubt. Home and away every week for 38 games. This lot would not beat that Championship winning side. We are closer now to the side that Paul Lambert had. And that used to excite me when I used to see the likes of Helder Costa bursting forward in the FA Cup against Liverpool. That excited me, that side did, because we thought we got something special. We've gone full circle. We are teetering on the edge of looking over the abyss here with their management of this football club. And that's fact. It's gone full circle.
Absolutely. Dan, I'm going to finish off with you now before we're going to go with the rest of the panel to take Q&A. Have you got any final thoughts for your call?
I just think that everyone's absolutely spot on. We need to genuinely start to think now about what these owners want from this football club. Because if it's just tourism and if it's just the logo and it's just all that, then this isn't the club, unfortunately. Because we're a passionate club. You know, it's in the city of Wolverhampton, and no one's ever gonna, you know, not follow this wonderful club because that's what we love. But if you're not on the same wavelength, Jeff and FOSUN, then you've got to sell up, because it's just, they're never going to work. Because even if we did stay up, it's just going to be the same thing over and over again, and no one, including myself, is gonna want to buy into it.
Do you know what, Dan? Thanks for coming on. I think that's where we're all at. It's just we're fed up of the same story, Groundhog Day. Thanks for coming on, Dan. Much appreciated.
No worries.
You want to jump in onto the thing, you're more than welcome, of course.
Thanks, mate.
All the best, mate.
No
Cheers.
worries. See you later, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that makes a very good point. I think that's exactly where everyone is. It's not the fact that we've had a hard time the start of this season or the pre-season or the end of. It's the fact that we're going through the same. It's the same groundhog season year after year, and it grinds you down. Guys, we're coming up towards the end of the show, so this is your chance to ask any question of the panel on anything. It could be question for Sutty, if Sutty would be prepared to buy the club or take over the chairmanship, or it could be if you want Emma as the club secretary, or Josh in the dressing room running the team with Magic Moss as his assistant, or what their favourite pizza topping is, or what the team should be for the weekend. Anything is on the table. Just that we've got 1,400 people watching live, which is incredible. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button if you're enjoying it. Also, if you're watching it back on catch up, leave your comments. If you're listening to it back on the podcast, hit follow us on all podcast providers, and be great if you follow us on YouTube as well. So, Darren, first of all, question for the panel. This is JS. Josh, we'll go to you because we've not come to you for a little bit. Question, and this is for all three of you. Would you sack Vitor Pereira right now if you were running the club? Josh?
On results wise, yeah. It's a question that would be asked. On performance wise, you'd have to. You'd have
Emma?
to. 2 more games time. If we're still in the same position, you'd have to.
Emma?
No, I wouldn't sack him right now. I think he's got 4 more games. We said before the Leeds game, the next 5 games we play 3 of the promoted clubs. So I think once he's done that, so another 4 games, 5 in total. Once he's done that, that's when you assess, because he's played 3 promoted clubs. And if we're still on 0 points, then God help us.
What would be an acceptable return for you to keep him on after that at this point, Emma? Because we're 5 games in, there's 4 more games, 9 games. What would be an acceptable return to say there's progress?
Well, we've got to be. We need the points, but we're not even seeing good spells of performances on the pitch, are we really?
Well, we've seen like 15, 20 minutes at Newcastle. We saw a little bit.
Short spell. We're not seeing like a whole half that's really good or anything. So on what? Firstly, you can we might pick up points because a goal goes in off someone's backside. I don't think that necessarily counts. But I mean, we need something against Burnley. We need something against Sunderland.
What do you mean by something? So if we've got 2 points after 9 games, that is 1 better than we had with Gary O'Neill last year. That counts.
No, there's got to be. Well, I think we've got to beat them, really.
Okay, so you're thinking that we need to be on around about 6 or 7 points.
Yeah.
Sutty, same to you. Good question, this.
Well, 1 win in 14.
If you
No,
include the Champions and everything, yeah.
yeah, no. I don't think we won in pre-season, did we?
We drew 2, lost 4.
Yeah.
Then we've had 5 at the start of this season, and then we've had a Carabao Cup win, so that's 12, and I think the end of last season, so it's around about 14, 15 games. You're right.
Well, 5 straight defeats is alarming for anybody, really. 2 clubs in 33 seasons of the Premier League have survived 5 straight defeats as a start. Only 2. So we are in the shit. That's no messing here. Would I sack him now? Yes, I would. But what you've got to ask yourself is, who are you bringing in? Who is going to sort this out? If you've got a stonewall manager that'll sort this out, you'd have to get rid with that record as it stands now. But nobody's coming here to sort this out, because no one, like I said to you time and time again, and tonight time and time again, nobody with any nous will come here, because they want to. Managers want to win things. Simple as that. They want to achieve things. Achieving relegation battles all the time, they ain't gonna want that on their CV. It's not going to get them the ultimate job they want. But I just don't see who would come. That's my big question here. Who would come? I'll give it you. Who do you think would come here?
Mate, there's a very, very good question. Rob Edwards probably would jump at the chance. Even though he's doing great, his stock's high. He did well with Luton. He's doing really well with Middlesbrough. He's professed that he wants to manage Wolves. He would probably be one person. I still think that Nuno might. I'm not saying he would. I think a lot of what you've said, he might have moved on. He might think, I don't want to go back to that. But he does have a big affinity with the Wolves fans. He really does, and he would instantly get the club. I'm not saying he would come, but like, if there was one man that I would bring in right now, he was our saviour before, it would be Nuno. He's out of work. He could go to bloody West Ham, and we could have him helping save West Ham. I would be pulling out all the stops to make sure Nuno come home, bring him home. I mean, another thing that in Les Miserables, bring him home.
We're definitely Les Miserables at the moment, aren't we?
We're definitely Les Miserables, yeah. So I'd want to bring Nuno, be the one I'd want to bring home.
I just question some of
that, who else is going to come?
I question some of his team selection. Honestly, you're telling me that Doherty and Moller Wolf can't get in a squad? Moller Wolf, you've just spent 12 million quid on him, and he can't even get in a match day squad.
Yeah, I don't think Moller Wolf's ready. I personally think it
Why?
was. So I'll tell you the reason for why. I don't know if you watched the interview I did with the guy from the Dutch Area Vision who watched him at AZ. He said he's not ready for the Premier League. He said when he first went to AZ, he jumped up from where he was. He was out of his depth in the Dutch Area Vision. He said he has come good in the second year. It takes him quite a bit of time to adjust. I watched David Moller Wolf a couple of times when he's come on, and Emma, you'll probably agree with this. He's just not looked right on the pace, but I think he's got the potential to be. But again, it's another one that
being thrown in at the deep end. It's another one for the future. We needed him. We needed to keep Nelson Semedo so that this kid could play all the cup games and get ready to the pace of the Premier League and stuff like that. But we're not doing that. Like I said, we've got rid of our spine. That makes us spineless. And then have to get young kids to come in and get absolutely slaughtered, the poor kids. And they've got no chance.
Rodrigo Gomez, he gives 150% every game. He gives everything. Absolutely. He fights. He runs. You know, is he completely ready? Probably not. But he always gives everything. I mean, always gives everything. I can't say that the players are not trying, because I think they're trying. I just think that they are a bunch of strange.
Directionless.
They're rudderless. Question. So go with you, Josh. Jonah, would things look different if Vitor had his players at the start of the season, or has he just lost the plot?
I think if yet again, we always say every year, and it's become a rhetoric the last 4 years. Lars said it, Lopetegui said it, O'Neill said it, and now Pereira said it. All four have said they wanted signings early. Did they get them? No. The only man that ever got signings early was that first season when we come up, and you had the likes of Patricio, Martinho, all coming in for Nuno. Every manager we've had since, they've all come out to the press, start the second full season they get, saying, I need players in early, I need players in early. And it's never happened. I think if you'd have got players in early, we may have had a bit more to work with, to set a base at the back, get the defence ready. But I think if we'd have had a pre-season player at the start, we may have had a better start than what we've had, only because you get more time to work with them. And you can settle things up, get the position in the routine you want. So yeah, I think if we'd have possibly had a few more points on board if he'd have had the players in right at the start of pre-season.
Fair play. Emma?
I think it would have helped, but I still think we might be struggling because for risk of repeating myself, too much change, too many changes.
Too many changes. Emma, can you just carry on asking the same question to Sutty, because I've just got to go to the bathroom for a second. You know what? So
go on then, Sutty. You know what the question is.
Yeah, for me, I've been very critical of the summer for the simple reason it absolutely drives me mental when people say it don't matter. It bloody well does matter. The results don't matter. But what you do in those games really does matter, because that's setting you up for how you come to game number one. I don't care whether it's against Man City. We should have a structure. We never used to fear Man City, did we? Never. When Nuno was here, they used to fear us. But if they come to Molineux 6-7 years ago, it was like, oh my God, they're going to get the right game. We might be, we should beat them, but you just never know. If they're on it and we're slightly off it, they'll turn us over. And that's how most teams used to think about us, home and away. So pre-season is massively important. And not only the pre-season, it's about getting your signings in early, but they just drag their feet all the time. And I just can't understand why they drag their feet. The only thing I keep coming back to is these players don't believe in Jeff's project that he keeps going on about, because none of us know what it is. So how the bloody hell are they meant to know what it is?
Absolutely. So I've had a bit of a tummy bug, guys. So I've made sure that I have to run to the toilet, because I have been struggling a little bit in the last day or two. I think it's the stress of watching Wolves. Bit of light-hearted. Chris Humphreys says, does Sutty prefer his pizza fresh or reheated the next morning?
He's a twat. Oh, God.
You love him now.
Oh, yeah. He likes it. He likes it the following morning, and I don't eat it when it's cold like that. But he does. He has it for breakfast.
Yeah, I can believe that as well. Tom Jones wants to know. We get some real celebrities on here. Tom Jones says, how do you think we'll all do before Christmas? Can we play better football? Do you think
that's $1 million question, isn't it?
Do you think we'll be in the bottom three at Christmas, guys?
Well, I looked earlier and we had 7 points after 14 games last season.
Yeah. Do you think we'll have
looking at it, we're in that month of December before Christmas Day, which I'm away for majority of December. We'll be in Australia for the Ashes. You've got Arsenal. Is it Arsenal away, Brentford at home, and then before that you've got United at home. And I'm looking at thinking, I had Brentford written off at the start of the season with Keith Andrews. He's doing all right at the moment, but I can't see where. I can't put a finger on, like last year again. I can't see where the next win comes from. And I was saying it this time last year before I went off to Amsterdam and we lost to Brentford. Like, where's the next wing going to come from?
Where's the next wing going to come from? Tim, Emma, would you prefer relegation to rebuild, or would you prefer relegation to rebuild, or prefer struggling in the Premier every year? Yeah, Tim Green.
Why do I have to pick between those two?
Well, that's Tim Green's question.
Yeah, I am not picking between those two. I don't want relegation. It's not easy to get back up. Relegation and rebuild does not appeal in any way, shape, or form. I do not want to be travelling the Championship grounds. I don't want to do the Championship. I'm a no to relegation. I don't want to struggle in the Premiership, and I want to push on. So neither.
Sutty, any thought on that?
You don't honestly. You don't want to go back down to the Championship.
Some people think, "Oh, we'll go back to the Championship and come." It's
Look,
not.
I've done
Not with these lot in charge. I won't trust
I've
them.
done all 4 leagues with this football club, right? And the Championship, by far, is the toughest league in this country, because once you're in it, it's like trying to swim the butterfly in a vat of treacle. It's just so hard to get out of. Do not think if we go down, they will rebuild and try and get us straight back up. But there's nothing guaranteed that we would get straight back up. What they have got to do is plan properly to make sure that we're not in this situation year on bloody year. Because the next step that we take, if we look at the demise of this club over the last 4 years, this year is relegation. That's fact. So they've got to make sure that things turn round here quick. We've got to be going to Tottenham and having a bloody good
We have
go
a
at
great
them.
record at Tottenham as well. We really do.
Well,
we
they've got to go at them.
We absolutely do. And listen, as I've said, as much as we're moaning and we're upset and we're angry, I really hope that a month down the line we're like going, well, yeah, okay, you were right. The plan, you're right, Jeff, with not worrying about the team or Vitor giving. I really hope so, because we'd come on and say so, but like it just doesn't seem that way, does it? We just seem like we're hopeless. Before we go on to the next question, I did promise to mention we have a competition that's running at the moment down at Genting in Wolverhampton. It's a fantastic competition. It is brilliant. Brilliant hospitality down at Genting. Food, drink. They've got electronic darts. They've got the big screen TV. There's a lot of people going before the games now. You can be winning a ticket for 2 hospitality for the Wolves versus West Ham game, which I think is on the 3rd of January, or in the box for the Liverpool away game as well, with myself and another member of the Always Wolves team for both of those games. All you have to do is get into Genting, buy a main meal that's worth £5 or more, and they've got such a variety of food that's on there. You can go in before the game. You even get 25% off on a match day with your match ticket off your beer as well. So, like, if you want to get into that, get into Genting, and you could win the chance to win hospitality for the West Ham at home or Liverpool away games. I just wanted to mention that. Next question for Josh. Rick wants to know, what team you're going to put out for Everton. What team should Vita go for? Personally, I think, go on.
Keeping the same formation, Sarr in goal. I'd drop Agbadou, I'd drop Mosquera, and I'd go with Totti, Bueno, and Krejci at right centre half. Tuchura at right back. Hugo at left back. Midfield 2 of Gomez and Andre, and then I've got 3 left, haven't I? Arias, Lopez, and Larson as the front row.
Fantastic. I think that's interesting. Emma, have you got any thoughts on that?
I can't really argue with that. I would like to see. I know Rockadari's not that fit, but I'd like to actually see him play with Larson. He seems to be one or the other at the moment for fitness reasons. I'd actually like to see the 2 tall players up top.
Yeah. So
but definitely I want Krejci in the defence. centre of defence, organising everyone, and captain.
I think that's a good point. Sutty?
I'd change the old back three. I'd have
Yeah.
Crepty in the middle, Doc, and Santi Bueno, and as I've taken Totti out, I'd make Crepty captain. He's done it before. He's got a lot of he plays with a lot of pride, a lot of aggression, and I like that. Totti Gomez is not a leader. Who on earth thought that he was going to be a leader? It's destroyed him. He's not the most naturally gifted player anyway, and it's destroyed him as his confidence and everything. He looks just devoid of anything at the moment, as does Agbadu. And Mosquera ain't really look great. Change the three of them for this. This game at the moment should be a full-on training game. Nobody wants to win a cup more than me. I've said this time and time again. We might have to forget this year again, because the league is far more important than any cup. So we must use this wisely. I'm not saying go weak, but that back line has got to be sorted out and fast, because we're shipping in 3 goals a game at home to team, let's be honest, Everton and Leeds. Okay, Man City, we'll give them that one. But Everton and Leeds, come on. You've got to be tight against these teams. You should be looking to take points against them teams. I was expecting 6 points against them too. 6 points? Jesus Christ, we're a disgrace. We've got to tighten it up fast and use this game on Tuesday to experiment just a little bit with that back line, and hope that we can pull something off with it, because Tottenham will be licking their lips come Sunday playing us.
I think you're absolutely right. To me, I think Crepty looks great. I really like the look of him. I think he looks quality. We have spent £30 million on him, so he better add be. But I think if you're going to be spending £30 million on a defender, you play him in defence. Put him in the centre. I think Totti Gomez, I think he's a good player. He always gives everything with his heart, but I think the captaincy has affected him. You can see that. Agbadu, someone said in the chat that, you can't blame Agbadu for passing, for doing them passes. Or can't blame Vitor Pereira for doing them passes. Well, the reason he's doing them passes is because he's clearly been instructed to play that pass. It doesn't happen 3 times if there's no instructions to play through the middle. You just got to know when to play that pass, because surely he's just not doing it off his own back. There's tactics in play for that. So I think probably Agbadu should probably get rested. Although, if he can get the best out of it again, he's a good player. I like Yerson Mosquera. I thought, like you say, Santiago Bueno did good. Doherty never lets you down when he's down. He might not be the quickest, but some of them goals at the back post, I think Dave Porter said in his article, brilliant article. If you get a chance to read it on alwayswolves.co.uk, things we learned. It's a brilliant article that he's wrote. You should watch that. Read that. It's an absolutely fantastic article. I'd like to see Tulu and Jurgen Strand-Larsen play up top with each other. I think that I like Tulu. I think he's going to be a good player for us. I think he's quality. He just needs more support. I think John Arias needs to play in the pocket behind the two of them. You definitely need Andre on the pitch. So whatever's gone on with Vitor Pereira and Andre, freaking sort it out, because you can't be leaving him on the bench. Hugo Bueno for me has been our best wing back, I think, every time he comes on. And I go 5-3-2 personally. I just think when we played that against West Ham, we actually looked like they knew what they were doing, and we created more opportunities and we looked more solid. So that's what I think. But whatever Vitor Pereira is going to do, I think he needs to play the team he's playing against Tottenham, against Everton, because they need to play together. we need a consistent team, because I think, Emma, you mentioned it, didn't we? Just don't know what team's going to come out every time we go to a game.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the key things, is that we're chopping and changing, and there is no consistency. He needs to decide who his best 11 is and stick with it and let it settle and bed in.
I think so too. The other thing is, I know Johnson's had some criticism, but he did nothing wrong when he played against West Ham. He did nothing wrong when he played against Newcastle last week. So I was a bit surprised that he got dropped for Sarr, even though Sarr's probably first choice. Vitor Pereira said, if you've got the shirt, it's yours to lose. So if he's come in goal and took the shirt and put on a good performance, he's rewarded by being dropped again. And if players are getting that message from the manager as well, when he's saying one thing, if you've got the shirt, it's yours to lose if you're not putting in the performances on the pitch or in training. I thought that was a little bit harsh. Sutty, you shook your head there. Do you disagree with that one?
No, I wasn't shaking my head at you, Dave. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I felt Johnson felt like he didn't do anything wrong and he deserved his chance. I think Sarr
Played well at Newcastle.
He did. He made he made a couple of really good saves, I thought, and he was rewarded by being dropped. And I didn't think he did anything wrong. So I'm just running down here to the bottom now. Listen, guys, it's 2 hours. We've had a really long run. There's a lot of questions and stuff like that. I think it's probably time to finish off the show. I think everyone, Josh, Sutty, Emma, we're all gagging for a cup of tea or something. I mean, Vitor Pereira's only drinking tea or hot chocolate at the moment because we got no points to get the points unless he's having a tipple at home.
Drowning his sorrows.
Look,
He's got the shakes.
You know, there's 400 of you, 1,400 of you watching again. So we really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you if you've followed us on any of the platforms. It's much appreciated. Thank you to Creation Wolf again for supporting the channel. Thank you for all your comments. Most of the people have been very respectful in the chat to each other, because like when you got so many people, we don't want people arguing or being disrespectful. That's not what we're about as a channel. We're all upset. We're all concerned. We're all angry. We're all frustrated. Everybody wants someone to blame at the moment. We all want to blame a player, the manager, the chair. The fact of the matter is, we're in this mess because it's 4 years of decline, and that only comes from the top, sadly. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Jeff Shee, come on the channel and do a proper interview. That would be great, and talk to all these lovely people. They will be respectful to you. The offer and the invitation is there to do that. Vitor Pereira, watch my dad on the reaction. Play that to the players. My dad, 89, spending his pension money. I know he's feeling. You know, get him in the dressing room if you want. I don't know. It might not help because it didn't help Bilson. I think they felt sorry for him. Yeah.
I don't think motivation's a problem. I think it's direction.
Yeah. The players, I think, want to succeed. I think they don't want to be losers. They want to be winners. Fair Lopez.
They're elite athletes. They want to win.
Exactly. Of course they do.
There's no question that they're going to want to win.
They're not bad. They're not bad people. That, you know, they're professionals. They want to be successful. The manager has got to decide this week who his starting lineup is and what he's going to do. He needs to get some identity because confidence has gone. And I think that's part of the problem. They need to get the confidence back. And when you're in a position like this, you need to go back to basics. So final word from Josh, Emma and Sutty before we finish. Josh, final thought.
We've all had a good weekend, apart from the results. Keep the faith. Keep visiting everybody that you see before the games. The highlights of the games and the weekends at the moment. And I shall see some of you on Tuesday or Saturday if you're going.
Absolutely. Thanks, Josh, and thanks for giving up 2 hours of your time tonight. Much appreciated.
That's right.
Emma, final thoughts from you? Any messages? Anything?
Ditto. We'll be there again on Tuesday, and we'll be at Spurs away. I mean, don't let it get you down. I mean, you got to make the most of your day at football. It's, you know, it does help when the football's good and you've got something to celebrate, but you can't live by just that.
Absolutely. Sutty, final word to you.
Well, after 47 years, Dave, your body automatically and your brain goes numb to all this shit. We've had enough of it over the years, let's be honest. So, but never let them sort of just get off lightly. Never be frightened to air your views, whether people next to you like it or they don't. This is a free country, and you can say basically anything you want to a certain degree. So if you don't feel happy with it, air your views, let them know it.
Absolutely. You have to, and the fan base are fed up arguing with each other. It all stems from the situation that we're in, because everyone is literally fed up to their iron teeth of being in this crap again. And this time it seems like there is little or no hope. And I really hope that, as I said, I really hope that in a month's time things are looking a lot better, because I literally, it's hard. We cover and try to report on all the Wolves news. Emma's working on the socials and puts the news out. She does the website. We do the podcast and stuff. We try and do all of this content, and it's bloody depressing. It drags you down. It really depresses you. Everyone's depressed, but like when you're having to report on it all the time as well and do the stuff on it, it's hard. So look, get behind the boys on Tuesday. Make your feelings heard to the ownership if you want to, and in however you feel like you should be doing that. And and we'll be there, as you say, along with you'll be there on at Tottenham.
Absolutely.
You going, Josh?
Yeah, I'm going on Saturday.
Bearing in mind this is an 8 o'clock kickoff in London on Saturday. We won't be getting back until the early hours. There will be 3,000 plus Wolves fans in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And I'll tell you what, if we were playing 8 o'clock and, in Scarborough or Tranmere, the Wolves fans would be there. There was a banner up at the Wolves once. This is our love, and it knows no division, and that's the fact. But we would prefer to stay in the Premier League and start winning things. Thanks very much. Until the next one, always Wolves.
Always Wolves.